Hello everyone and welcome to this new series. Actually, this is a series of short lectures where I am going to consider a conceptual problem which can be solved even in 1 minute or 2 minutes. But to solve the problem, I am going to explain entire concept. For in the beginning of this short lecture, we are going to cover the concept for a given problem and then we will solve the problem. So given, we have to find the force in member AD of the given truss. Before I solve the problem, I would like to ask, do you think that the 100 Newton force is actually going to be transmitted into three members, that is AB, BD and BC? Or you think that as 100 Newton force is directly aligned with this BD member, so obviously the entire force should be transmitted to this BD member. Therefore, I am saying that Therefore, I am saying that this is a conceptual problem which actually involved to understand the concept of zero force member. In the given lecture, first we will understand the concept of zero force member and then we will solve this problem. So let's start with the zero force member. Especially in trusses, there are two types of situation where a member is not actually participating in load bearing, or we call this member as a zero force member. One situation is that we are having a joint where only two members are connected and no additional force is acting. For example, if you are having a truss in this way where multiple members are connected and you have to identify the forces in a particular member. In this truss, let's this is a joint A, it is a pin joint and we are having another roller joint at this point, and we are applying a force of let's some F at an angle of theta from the vertical. Now in the given problem, if you will see this joint and you will try to make the free body diagram of this joint, suppose this is A, B and C. So at joint AB you can identify that when you are ultimately going to see the forces, suppose there are two forces, one is Fx and one is Fy. Please, I am not going in too much of detail because I am assuming that you have a basic idea of method of joint, and directly I am considering joint B here. As it is a joint of two member, I am going to consider two forces. One is let's Fx, another one is Fy. If I am actually writing the equation for the equilibrium of horizontal forces, there is only one horizontal force Fx which will be 0. Similarly, there is only one vertical force Fy which will be 0. So in the given state, we can understand that the force Fy and Fx will be 0. So these two members, member AB and BC, are actually not load bearing member and they are zero force member. Similarly, if I will see this joint, there are here is also we are having two members, but the angle is not 90 degree. Let the angle is alpha. Do you think that these two members will also be zero? Yes. Why? Because again, if you will write the equation for this joint, there will be two vertical members. Let's one member is say F1 and another member is F2. So you will say F1 cos alpha plus F2 will be 0. This is actually showing the vertical force balance. But when you will write the horizontal force balance, you will say F1 sin alpha is equal to 0. Since alpha is not 0, then definitely f1 will be 0, and if f1 will be 0, your f2 will again 0. So at any condition, if you are having a joint where there is only two members, both the members will be 0. So this is one situation but rarely observed in the questions. The second situation which is generally asked is a condition where we are having two linear collinear member with a side branch. For example, we are having a truss in this way where this is one joint and this is another joint, and there are members connected in this fashion. Let this is a member with 90 degree and this is the member with an angle theta, and this is A, B, C, D and E. So here member AC as well as member AD will be zero force member. Let's understand this concept. Suppose I am making the free body diagram of joint C. So there will be three members, one which is C2B, another member which is collinear to this and that is C2D, and third member is in this direction. Let this is A, CA, and this angle is theta. So if you are going to balance the forces in two perpendicular axes, Here what I am doing, instead of making the force balance along the x and y direction, I am going to consider my reference axis. One is along this line, another is perpendicular to this line. So when I will write the force balance, let's along this axis 1, there will be three forces. One which is FCB, another one is FCD, and the third one will be what? Third one will be plus FAC. And this is in opposite direction, so I am putting a negative sign. So this is my one equation which is along the axis 1. But when I will write the equation for the perpendicular axis, what I will see? I will see the force AC sine theta is equal to 0. So here you can see that this force, the component of this member which is AC, one force is going to be in this direction, another force is going to be in this direction. So from the second equation we can see either the sine theta will be 0 or FAC will be 0. But the theta is not 0 because it is there in the structure. Definitely FAC will be 0. So here we can conclude that if we are having two collinear members, here we are having member BC and CD collinear, and the third member which is a side branch, then the side branch will be 0. So everywhere whenever you find two members collinear and a side branch, the side branch will be 0. So in similar fashion, if we are going to see the joint D, we will find that the CD and DE are collinear, and the third, that is a side branch DA, so that this side branch will also be 0. So in the given problem we can now conclude that member AC and member AD are the zero force member. Once you identify the zero force member, before solving the problem you can remove those members. That means this truss can be simplified into a simple triangular truss where you are having two joints, and you can consider the forces uh, wherever it is given. But here please remember, there should not be any force on the joint, otherwise it is not going to be having a zero force member. Please remember, there should be only three members and a side branch. If you are having three members but you are going to apply a force F1 here, and let's you are having a force F2 here, these two member will not be then zero force member. So I'm just summarizing that there are two situations where we can get the zero force member in a truss. The first condition is that we are having a joint with only two members. There should not be any additional force, as well as there should not be any joint here. Otherwise the reaction will come into the picture. In both the cases, these two members will not be zero force member. These members will only be zero when there is no external force, there is no additional joint, only two members connected, and I have explained with this example. The second situation is that there are two collinear member with a side branch. So there is a side branch and we will have the side branch as the zero force member. So I hope that now you are having understanding of zero force member. So let's move and solve the given problem. This is our problem, and obviously now as we have understood the concept of zero force member, we can identify that the member BD is a zero force member. Here also you may think that if you are going to solve the joint B first, there is possibility that some of the force will transfer to BD. Yes. So what the next precaution we should take? We should always find a joint where the condition can be satisfied. We should not go to the other end where you are having more than three forces or three members. So here also, if I will start solving the problem or visualizing the problem from joint B, we may get confused. But if you will directly go to the joint D, you can clearly identify AD and DC are collinear member. So the member BD, which is a side branch at D and there is no additional force acting here, will be a zero force member. That means I can remove this force or this member from the truss, and my truss will simplify as a simple triangular truss with one force here of 100 Newton, and there are reaction at this point. Let's this is RA, and there is a reaction at this member, and this will be, let's RC. There will not be any horizontal reaction because I can identify that the force is only in vertical direction and symmetric forces. So it's a symmetric forces. I can simply say that it is going to be distributed in these two vertical forces, that is 50 Newton and 50 Newton. If you are having a doubt in this step, you can go back and watch my other videos on trusses. You will understand. Or simply we can say that it is symmetric situation, though both the forces will be distributed. After finding this force, we can now consider any of the joint, either joint A or joint B, and we can get the force in this member. So here, instead of finding the force in AD, what we are doing, we are actually finding the force in AC. But as DB is a zero force member, AD and AC are nothing but the same member. So if I will consider the joint A, let's, there will be one member which is at A to this B, another member is along A to C, and the third is the vertical force, that is a reaction of 50 Newton. So here we can see that if I am going to write the equation for the horizontal force balance as well as the vertical force balance, the horizontal force balance equation will be what? Force along AC plus force along AC means AB, and this angle is 45, so I am going to write it cos 45 or 1 by root 2. It is 0. The second equation will be what? The second equation in the vertical direction, so I will say the AB, force AB sine 45, it is again 1 by root 2 plus 50 is equal to 0. When I will solve this equation, I will get that FAB is minus 50 root 2, which is actually giving me indication that whatever direction I have assumed in the beginning is not correct. This force will actually acting in this fashion. That means the force is coming towards the joint, and in such case we consider that this is a compressive member. Here also, if you are having a doubt, you can go back and check my previous video. There I have explained the philosophy of truss. Now if I will put this value FAB in my first equation, I will get FAC, and FAC will nothing but the 50 Newton with a positive value. So this means that the force acting in this horizontal member will be of tensile nature, and the magnitude of this force is 50. So I'm just summarizing that this is a really conceptual problem which involved a concept of zero force member. Unless you will not identify the zero force member, you will not be able to solve the problem. So I hope that now you have understood the concept of zero force member, as well as this is a problem already asked in a repeated exam like GATE, and there it was a question of 1 marks which can be solved in a minute. With this note, I am closing this session. Thank you.